What's going on, everyone? This is Mike, with two of my favorite people, Jenna and Dylan. We're in the MXstore garage for this weekly dose of dirt. Weekly dose of dirt is something pretty special, Jenna. Tell us all about it.
I'm just going to give you a recap on what's been happening in our industry over the last week or so.
Yeah, so I guess we're all moto frothers just like you guys. So we just want to give you a bit of an insight onto what we think of what's happening in the industry and keep you up to date.
Yeah, it all stems from our morning combos on Monday morning here at MXstore. So instead of just downloading it, take away from company time, we're sharing with the world. So it's a pretty cool opportunity to give you our insight and our feedback for what's happening on two wheels in the dirt world. So lots been happening this weekend.
Yes.
Man, you were Dust Hustle, we were at Coolum. We'll start with you, Jenna. Tell us about Dust Hustle, what it is, what it isn't.
Yeah, for sure. I went out to Dust Hustle on the weekend, which is an event that's put on by a bunch of Queensland guys. It was out at QMP, and it definitely lived up to its name. It was so dusty out there. Like, we were out there the weekend before watching the MX Nationals, and it was a totally different track then. It was ripped, it was wet, it was rutty, and this weekend it was not that. It was hard and it was dusty. So anyway,
what is Dust Hustle?
Yeah, so it's an event that's put on really for a bunch of people that like to ride inappropriate dirt bikes, I guess. So they have like four classes. One's risky road bikes. So there's guys out there and girls out there on road bikes, which is risky, hence the name risky road bikes. So we had Gemma and Emma out there on big like adventure bikes. Emma was out there on like a Harley Pan Am. Gemma was out there on the Husky Norden. And then you had guys out there on Gold Wings, on like Suzuki GSXRs, like just everything and anything. It's just a sight to see.
Yeah, I attended my first Dust Hustle at the Speedway, Brisbane Speedway during the flat track day, and I thought it was a race, and it certainly isn't. I mean, everyone's out there flexing, doing their thing, but it's more about the vibe, the culture.
Yeah.
The whole crew there does an amazing job of bringing culture to moto. And it's hard to get that nowadays. Everyone's so serious, and I mean, I definitely am probably a little off kilter from the Dust Hustle crowd, but I need to build a bike to race. I'm like the gasses that I ride, like bring a Lamborghini to a culture-driven bike.
It's too appropriate. It's too appropriate.
Yeah, so I think Shep, your team member in Range, came out there for his first event at MXstore. He had an absolute blast, and he's looking for bikes. So I think, what do you think, Dill? Can you build us a Dust Hustle's bike for us to go hit the next Dust Hustle?
You showed me a pretty cool photo of a KTM super motard looking thing with some clip-on bars, so I think maybe we could build something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you got your risky road bikes, then you also had your small burners class, which was obviously anything like small. So there was scooters out there was mini bikes out there was just old, all sorts of poo carts, really. And then you had the old mates class, so that was anything pre-1990. So, and it could be anything pre-1990. There were some real old bikes out there getting around, clutches being burnt out.
And what's cool is you're getting people out there with bikes that normally they wouldn't be ridden. They're like resurrecting old bikes that are. What are the Team Gav boys riding? What the DTs?
Oh, DTs.
That's a huge class, right?
DTs. Dirt Turtle crew.
Yeah.
It's all bikes that can't be registered anymore, so
yeah, pretty much.
Might as well put a use of them.
Yeah, so that's cool. Like repurposing bikes for an event with like-minded people.
Yeah, but they were a little bit inclusive. They did have the MX and Enduro class, so I did get out there on what seems like my boring YZF 250 compared to everything else that was out there.
I think so. Factory. If you haven't seen Jenna's YZ 250 Ep build, it's an amazing bike build. It's on. You'll put the description below on the YouTube.
Yeah,
build.
put the link in there below. So
check out Jenna's
awesome
weapon.
build.
Circo did an overhaul on that last year, and it's a weapon. But so Dust Hustle. Next one is at Brisbane Speedway again. Mm-hmm. If you're around Southeast Queensland or even afar, make sure you get on and sign up early because it sells out like that quick.
Yeah, and the next one does sell out quick because they're limited to numbers because it's at the flat track. So you've got to get in real quick. Cool.
Yeah. So. Going into Coolum, Dill, we had a great time at Coolum. This was the last round of the Oz Pro MX in Australia, and when it came, the lights title was was decided last weekend.
Yeah.
Wilson Todd won that, but it came down to the last round for the 450 title between Dean Ferris and Aaron Tanty. Man, it was almost harder, I think, for Tanty because it was a 24-point gap, I believe. And he only had to get like top 10 both motos, but that's pretty simple for what he's been doing. Yeah. But when you add Coolum, the type of terrain it is, it's super sandy with some hard base and rough edges, and it was a You
can tell us exactly what it was like out there because you were out there racing on Saturday.
Yeah, I got to race the Old Fart class. I raced on Saturday for the vet Oz National Championship and had a great time.
And one.
Yeah, I got to take home. Dill was my mechanic.
1-1.
Yeah, we were champions. Not only the Golden Wrench and Wreckers, he took home the Golden Wrench for the Old Fart class. But the track's rough. It's a really dynamic track. It doesn't flow super good for sand. So when we got to watch the guys qualify, and gals, of course, qualify on Saturday and then race on Sunday to understand what they're having to ride through, it was pretty dynamic. Let's start real quick with the MX, the women's class, the gals. Let me just say, wow, they were ripping. Standout bar none has been Charlie Cannon on that Yamaha Racing 250F. A weapon.
Amazing, yeah.
She was absolutely amazing.
She lives up to her last name, the old Cannon.
Yeah.
That's for sure. She
flies.
flies.
She was dominant. She won the title. Great for her, great for that team. They worked really hard, and now she's going to make her debut at the last round in Turkey for the WMX, which is very exciting. I'm going to put, if I can put money on it, I'm putting money on Charlie.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so Charlie was, she was dominant 1-1. She rode like a boss, and kudos to her. She rode great. MX2, Nathan Crawford was dominant all weekend. He was flying. KTM came back from a broken femur and was absolutely on the gas. He was, he looks the part. He rode
looks
the part.
very comfortable on that KTM,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, and his gear match is very nice as well.
Yeah, it's good to see Crawford. He's been around the industry a lot, and his ups and downs always have the potential. But to see him put it, he didn't get the title. Wilson Todd dominated that. You lost him in the class, so you didn't really get to see maybe the fastest guys doing battle. But for him to get that confidence rolling these last 2 rounds, get the win, look for him to assert himself going into Supercross.
Yeah. Actually, on that note, I did appreciate seeing Wilson Todd up there in the MX1 class. Sneaky little surprise, giving everyone a taste of what's going to happen next year, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he?
Before I jump to the MX1, Jace Crawford, privateer rider, finished second Moto 1. The kid rode the wheels off the bike, actually bridged the gap on NATO. Young rider, fit, was a tradie all week, gets on the track. I think he has some privateer sponsors that really support him. So props to him for making a run and giving it a go and finishing on the podium first moto and finished 4th overall. So MX2, you had Nathan Crawford, Bailey Malkowitz, Reese Budd, Jace Crawford ran out the top 5. So strong field, but going to MX1, Wilson Todd made the transition, like you said, and laid the wood to the boys the first moto.
Didn't he?
He was fast, ran really strong lap times, and showed why he made that transition to MXGP the year before. Unfortunately, he's back with us now, and that all goes down to what team he might have been on or not been on in MXGPs of how he performed, injuries. But he's shown now why he's made that step, and I think we're lucky to have him back in Australian motocross.
Yeah, for sure.
Todd Waters rounded out was second overall with Kyle Webster third. And it's interesting, right? You had Kyle Webster making a return back into the class. Wilson Todd going up into the class. It just so happens their teammate, Dean Ferris, is coming into the final stage of trying to gain some points on Tanty. Do you think there's any type of team tactics Uriv was putting together there? I think he's stacking the deck a little bit.
If anyone knows Uriv, of course they would have been. But I saw him on the side of the straightaway there, just going absolutely nuts, just cheering on the boys. So I'm sure he was just happy with whoever got up the top. So, but it was really impressive to see Toddy. He can ride sand like no one else. So Waters was up there, and then he's flying out. Well, he's already flew out to ISD.
And we'll touch on that in a minute. But Waters is an absolute weapon. I mean, Mehdi as well. Mehdi, these old guys. It's almost like it's almost like the vet class. But now you're starting to see these younger guys, Webster, Wilson Todd. They're starting to assert themselves as the powers to be. That was also Dean Ferris's last.
I was going to say that. Again. Yeah. And in that last moto, I saw him go down twice, and I was like, oh, don't finish like that. But he still came back so strong, which was super impressive. He just kept picking away at the field there.
His style's absolutely impeccable. Like Dean Ferris, he's beautiful to watch ride. But the star of the weekend, the star of the series, Aaron Tanty.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was stoked. Tanty is a great kid, works his tail off. It goes to show you, CDR's got a recipe. They have a recipe for success.
It seems, yeah.
Luke Clout was the defending champion. Tanty came in as the second rider. Unfortunately, Clout has a broken leg early in the series, and
he was leading the championship too, so
just took straight over.
It's
finish it off.
and now Tanty will be making that transition to the Supercross program on the lights bike for CDR for World Supercross. We'll get into that later episodes, but congrats to Aaron Tanty, CDR, his whole program that supports him. He looked good. He did it. He kept us on the edge of our seat with some, I'd say, lackluster results, but he got the job done. So once again, congrats to Aaron Tanty. Moving on to, we had a big announcement that we are a part of the MXstore program is supporting the Oz MX of Nation team. You saw that announced over the weekend with the leader of the group, Jet Lawrence, on the 450, Mitch Evans on the MX3 class, and Hunter Lawrence bringing up the lights class. I think it's really exciting. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be absolutely epic. I mean, Jet on a 450, people have got a few questions about that, but I think his style and his ability to ride that 450 should be fine. Mitch has been riding really well lately as well, and then Hunter, he's so dominant and he's proven himself in Motocross of Nations before, so I think we're in for a really good chance this year. I'm thinking top 2, definitely. I think first or second's ours.
Yeah, and
hopefully first.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Berner, he's the team manager this year, official team manager. I think Michael Byrne is one of the most educated, smooth operating humans, and he's going to bring a lot to the table for the team. It's in America at Redbud. Berner's essentially an American now. Like, he's been in America for over 20 years. So I think the team's in good hands. They're all on Hondas, and that is interesting with Mitch because his contract was up with the European HRC team. So there was some question if he'd be picked or not, but from the looks of the emails I'm attached to, it looks like the HRC program in the States, led by Lars Lindstrom, has decided to help support Mitch and get that 3 riders on those HRC bikes. So
Right, yeah, that's going to look good.
yeah, they're gonna look good. You know, 2 Alpinestore guys, 2 Fox rider. Yeah, it's gonna be, I think, Australia's best chance at winning an MX of Nations title, but it's gonna be hard pressed now. They've just announced the American team with that undecided spot, the MX2 rider, which is Justin Cooper. It's between Cooper and Craig, and Cooper got it. And you know, I think that was a good choice with what they're doing. But I mean, you got I think Chase Sexton and Eli Tomac are, I think, the leaders of this series. With the USA, I feel is the team to beat this year. I don't know. I mean, American, I can be biased.
We're the team to beat this year.
Speaking of good-looking bikes, so we had 3 Hondas of obviously the nations team, but we've got some pretty good-looking bikes in this shed right now. We've got some exciting news this week, this Thursday. We have the first episode of Wreckers to Checkers Season 2, so we're super pumped about that.
Yeah.
As you can see, Jenna's shirt there and my shirt.
Represent.
Ready to go.
I'm graced with bike build royalty here. This Records of Checkers Season 2 is backed by popular demand, like Dale said. It is going to be an epic. We are launching this Thursday, 6 p.m. New platform. Can't give too much information. All I can say is
new game, new rules, new bikes.
Some pretty good looking bikes, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and make sure you use hashtag Wreckers to Checkers on your build. So we can follow along through our social media, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Use the hashtag Wreckers to Checkers so we can follow along. Maybe Dill will give you a share on social media. And yeah, it'll be fun. And also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't seen the first season, get on it now, check it out, get refreshed to what the series is all about, because it is going to be an epic season, to say the least. And yeah, speaking of new season, ISDE, you talked about that a little bit. Toddy Waters flew out.
Yep. They've already started walking the track, I think, now, and racing starts on the 28th. So our ISDE team there's 3 teams. So we've got the World Trophy team, the Women's team, and then the Junior Trophy team as well. So, and the lineup for that is awesome. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I think we've got good chances with the ISDE as well as the MX of Nations. I think Aussies are coming in strong this year.
Yeah, I would agree. I think
because in our world trophy team, I'll tell you who we've got on there. We've got Daniel Milner, Todd Waters, Josh Green, and Andy Wilkes. Wilkes? Is that how you say it?
Wilkes.
Wilkes.
Yeah. And then you have Jess Gardner, Taylor Jones, Emily Carlson, Ebony Nielsen in the women's trophy team.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the juniors, we've got Kyron Bacon, Corey McMahon, and Blake Hollis.
And Kyron Bacon is a weapon. Like, he's hungry. This team's going to do really well.
And so are our girls. Like, we've got experience there. Like, Jess and Taylor have been over there doing the ISDEs a couple of times now. So.
And we have GB. GB he forgot his helmet.
Oh no!
Yeah, but yeah, so Jeff Ballard's over there mentoring the team.
Yeah.
I think he's got one of the longest, histories, legacies with the ISD. So look follow along the ISD platform, and then it'll lead into MX of Nations. We'll dive into MX of Nations in a future episode. But yeah.
Do you want to quickly touch on the World Supercross? What's happening with that?
Before we get into that, let's do 3 products in 3 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
This is a little segment we have in our daily dose of dirt. So let's do this. Let's jump into it. Product specialist?
All right, we'll start with the new Michelin Starcross 6. They've just come out. We've got them up on our website, available now. And Dill had the pleasure of getting to ride on them the other day.
Yeah, I did. I rode out at Willowbank, just local to us, about an hour and a half away. And I was really impressed with the tyre. The new carcass has actually 15% more traction than the previous model.
And you noticed every percent of that on the track, did you?
I'll tell you what, I noticed even more because it was replacing old tyres. So when you put brand new tyres on, it was just absolutely insane. I couldn't keep the front wheel down. So.
You were hooking up out there, man. You were testing some tires, checking air pressure, adjusting it. I mean, what's the biggest thing that you found with testing that tire? Is it more of the carcass with the ability for the tire to last longer, or what do you think the biggest standout from going back to the 5?
So the tyre's more grippy and it lasts a lot longer. Like I've currently put about 10 hours on the tyre and I don't need to replace it anytime soon. So I'm super stoked with how it's lasting and how it's wearing, and still having sharp edges on the knobs. So, but I know when we're out there, you were testing the new Fox Motion boots.
Yeah, and I actually got to ride a moto in them this weekend. So like that goes to show you it's a more of a entry-level boot with premium features and not that big premium price, and it lasts around Coolum in a national setting. I was really impressed with it. It looked good. Speaking of Burner, he DM'd me about my kit, like, man, your kit looks good with those Fox boots, fluorescent orange, and I think it's really cool. Fox has brought a product to the program that looks like Ken Roxon and these other riders' boots, but not that really expensive price.
Yeah.
But also didn't compromise safety. So if you're looking for a new boot, I highly recommend that Fox Motion boot. It's a great boot for all levels of riding and a really great price. And obviously it's available in the description below. Dylan, throw that in.
Yep. I'm going to need one more product. And I noticed that they just launched the Fly 23 range.
Just now.
I've been wearing it, and you were wearing it too, weren't you?
We got the pleasure of testing it.
Yeah.
No, the gear for me, it's definitely the comfiest gear I've ever worn. I've worn brands like
It's a bold
Fast
statement.
House. No, it definitely is, hands down. If you don't believe me, go try one yourself. Fast House, Alps. I've ridden in a lot of different gear over the years, and easily that fly
look
race
good
and
in it, man.
the boa
flow, yeah.
system with the pant. I mean, it's just. It's next level.
That
You
is
got
pretty true.
what do you think yourself for the women's
Yeah,
gear?
well, I was wearing obviously the women's gear, and it fits really nice. I know sometimes the women's gear is touch and go on fit wise. Sometimes they try too hard to make it. I don't know what it is that they do. Some brands they just make it like too tight around the waist, and then it's all baggy around your bum and your knees and everything like that. But the Fly gear fits really nice in all the right spaces and plenty of room for knee braces. Now that I should be wearing knee braces, but
Yeah, Jenna had she should have had the Maxxis. The Michelin Starcross 6s on when she pushed the front end. So she's gonna have knee surgery, but anyhow, she got to test that new gear. It's really nice. Gear looks sharp. You have the factory Husqvarna team, which hey, RJ Hamstar just won in that new Fly racing gear out at Budds Creek this weekend.
Yeah.
Jet and Hunter Lawrence, MXstore athletes had a rough weekend, but man, it's been a great series over there as well. But yeah, new Fly stuff coming out. Check that. Hit that description below.
Yeah.
And what do we have coming up? We have a lot of stuff coming up. ISD Transmoto Giveaway.
Yeah, we have a bit of a Transmoto giveaway this week, so make sure you jump onto our socials. All you got to do is like, share, and tag your mate, and you go in the chance to win a 4-man team or 4-gal team for you and your mates. So it's a sold-out event. So the only way to get tickets or riding tickets is to actually enter this competition. So we'll be announcing that this week.
yeah. And when is that event? It's on the 24th, I think it is.
It's the 10th and 11th of September. So
where'd I
it's
get
early
24th
next
from?
month.
Okay.
Well, maybe you got it wrong, like Dylan Ferrandis got Justin Barsha cutting the track wrong. The Pro Nationals have been absolutely amazing. As you saw, it went viral. Justin Barsha's GoPro footage of him jumping over a turn, clearing out Dylan Ferrandis. But ultimately, it's going to come down to the last 2 rounds of the AMA Pro Motocross with Eli Tomac, Chase Sexton, 1 point separating them. Epic battles. I mean, Eli just could have capitalized this weekend. He didn't. On lights class, Jet Lawrence, MXstore's very own, kind of has it under control. Hunter's had a shocking couple weeks, just can't stay off the ground.
Well, he's moved into 3rd in place now for the championship, so he better pull his finger out because
Yeah.
Joe's starting to click another gear.
Silent Joe is making a lot of noise over there. So, man, that's a lot we've covered in this dose of dirt. And
It is a lot.
But guess what? We got plenty more to come this weekend. There's more riding. The next weekend there's more riding. So stay tuned for the next episode of your daily dose of dirt. It's been fun. Thanks for tuning in. And once again, check out the descriptions below for all the things we've talked about.